literally rocked my world. One summer morning, I woke up to what I thought was a stroke. My right leg was suddenly weak, like really weak, and I was sweaty, I was confused, and then all of a sudden my left leg goes a little bit weak, and I am wondering what's happening. I swung my legs out of bed and labored towards the bathroom and got in the shower, but the whole time I was like really afraid that my legs would completely give out. While I was in the shower, I suddenly felt my arms get weak too. Literally had no idea what was going on. I was very naive about medical conditions at that point. I did end up going to work later that morning, but I continued to feel worse and worse. I was tutoring a kid from South Korea. I was feeling hot, I was feeling dizzy, I was feeling confused, I was feeling sweaty, and I could feel myself just getting worse and worse a little bit by little bit. And so what I did, he didn't see it, but I wrote down my brother's phone number so that he could, in case if I ended up collapsed on the floor or something terrible happened to me, then my South Korea kid could call my brother to come get me. I mean, I didn't know what else to do in that moment. I mean, I literally thought I had a stroke, but from my limited knowledge, I thought, okay, wait, don't strokes just happen on one side of the body? Why is this affecting both sides of the body? Soon after, I ended up in the ER. Something was wrong, definitely wrong. And thus began the long road of seeing doctor after doctor after doctor. CT scan with contrast, perfect. MRI of brain, neck, and spine with contrast, perfect. $2,000 blood test, perfect. But I was not perfect, I was not even close, and I was getting worse. Hit that pause button. I'm gonna fight for you. The medical system does not really understand how vitamin B12 affects our bodies. So it's my goal to raise awareness and to educate the medical system so that people like us aren't delayed anymore in trying to find our true diagnosis. So please consider subscribing in order to support this cause. Hit that subscribe button and fight for yourself. Fight for all of us! My symptoms declined basically at the same rate every single day. It never took a day off. It was every single day. And by the way, I was ignorant at the time that simple blood tests do not cover everything. They don't check for everything. I thought they would, especially if they're going to charge you $2,000 for it, but they do not. You have to get a specialized test to check your B12. In total, I saw about 30 doctors. Medical doctors, nurses, nurse practitioners, chiropractors, naturopaths, yet none of them told me about a vitamin B12 deficiency. None. So after seeing about 30 doctors and getting nowhere, just getting more broke and getting more sick, I decided to take matters into my own hands. Side note, I broke my elbow in 2 places during this whole ordeal because I decided to go roller skating with friends. And the reason I decided to go roller skating with friends was because I wasn't sure how much longer I would be able to do things like that. I didn't know how much longer I had until I was in a wheelchair. So yeah, going through this whole B12 deficiency, and then I ended up falling and breaking my elbow and back to the doctors. Yes! Back to my story. Seeing that I was getting nowhere with doctors, I was spending more time in the office filling out paperwork than I was actually spending time with the doctor to try to figure out what was wrong. It was basically diagnose and adios, because all they would do is spend maybe 3 minutes with me, maybe if I was lucky, and didn't really feel that they cared. I felt like 2 or 3 actually cared.
I'm a mammal that cares.
But out of 30, like, come on, what are you in that profession for? It got to a point where it's ridiculous. So I'm like, okay. I stopped seeing doctors altogether. My mental processing was also getting worse at the time. I mean, it got to a point where like I'm not even sure if I can remember my brother's name, and it was like things that I knew I couldn't recall them. I couldn't remember them.
My name is Jason Bourne.
I was also constantly dizzy. I was dizzy for 3 months straight, like not even a second of a break, like 3 months straight. And sometimes at night my head would be pounding and it would increase the dizziness, and it was like the room was just wobbling. It was just wobbling the whole time, and it's so annoying and so scary, especially after 3 months. It's like, is this ever gonna go away? There's a point that I heard about fasting and the benefits of fasting. I mean, I'm up for anything at this point, so I gave it a try. And the first time I did it, I went on a 6-day water fast. By day two, my dizziness lifted. Wasn't dizzy anymore. All of a sudden, I just woke up and I'm like, whoa, why is the room not spinning? It's always spinning. Why is it not spinning anymore? And it was like insane. I'm like, what? That's all it took? Yeah, I mean, if you research fasting, if you do it properly, there are so many benefits to it. I came across so many testimonies. It was definitely worth a try and worth it. My thinking was that I wanted to reset my body, just start over. So I did lots of fasts. I did a 6-day fast. I did a 10-day fast, 11-day fast, a 21-day fast, and even a 33-day fast. All just water fasts. And during those times, like, wasn't as hungry as you would think you would be, but I mean, it's definitely difficult, and you get bored because like you want to eat food. Food is like so fun, and you miss it. But I felt like a lot of my sports injuries like clearing up. I felt just a lot of things kind of correcting themselves within my body. But the one thing that wasn't fixing itself was my nerves and just the incremental decline every single day. So fasting wasn't the answer to that. So, okay, now we got to figure that out, right? I'm up for trying a lot of different things. So here we go. Here are some of the things that I tried. Infrared saunas, zappers, hyperbaric oxygen chambers, faith healers,
Bam, 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 bam.
an Atlas orthogonal, acupuncture. The infrared saunas got to be too expensive, so car saunas. So basically, I would park my car in the sun in Dallas in the summer, keep the windows up, and sit inside and sweat my face off for as long as I could handle it.
Jafar, can you hurry up? I'm dying in here.
Saunas have a lot of benefits, so I gave it a shot, but it was not helping this particular thing. After trying all these things, nothing was happening. I was still getting worse. So then my next thought was, okay, maybe I have a virus embedding itself in my nerves, and I'm gonna have to just attack that thing and just go at it. And that led me to load up on antivirals. Load up is an understatement. Antiviral herbal concoction. Huge jars of like the nastiest liquid you would ever consume. Colloidal silver IVs. More saunas. I ate garlic by the cloves. Not the bulbs, not the single bulb, but by the clove. I would chop it up and mix it with honey, consume it. Whew. So after trying all of these different things, I was still getting worse every day. So I figured that's it. I'm dead. I don't know what else to do. There's literally nothing else I can do until vitamin B12. So if none of the 30 doctors could tell me about a vitamin B12 deficiency, then who could? Well, that's where my dad came in. My dad was praying one morning, and he walks really close with God, and he felt impressed by God to send me back to Haiti to have, it's a long story, but the kids that I was helping, the kids that I've known for a while, to have them pray over me. He wanted to send me back to Haiti, have them pray over me, and he just felt like I'd find the answer then. So I'm thinking, that's insane, because I don't even want to go through an airport. I'm getting weaker every day. My arms are getting like harder to lift up, and it's like, come on, this is gonna be a waste. Honestly, that was going through my head. He said he would pay for it, and that if I didn't feel well to continue there, just come on back. So I agreed to go. I brought like 3 shirts, and I didn't even bring my computer because I'm like, I don't want to have to lift it out of my bag at the airport. It's one more thing to lift. And so, yep, a couple shirts because I'm like, I'm not going to be here very long. So, little faith, right? So I get to Haiti. I have a bunch of kids that I knew, had them pray over me, and said thank you, and didn't think much of it because this has been over a year of like trying all of these different things and nothing working, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. Like, I'm not gonna find it. I'm not gonna find what's wrong with me. So, however, the next day I ended up eating lunch with a friend, and he said, he asked about my symptoms and everything and how my health was, and I explained it to him, and he said, hey, I was going through some of those things, not to the degree you are, but I was feeling numbness and tingling and some weakness in my limbs, and one of my doctors here in Haiti told me to check out vitamin B12, and so I'm like, it's not a vitamin deficiency because I eat clean, I eat perfectly healthy, and I eat a wide variety of healthy foods, all the different colors, and yeah, I've got my vitamins. It's okay, bro. But he's like, no, vitamin B12, you get that. You don't get that from plants. You don't get that. You get it from certain meats. That caused me to think a little bit because I haven't digested meat well for years. So I was like, okay, maybe there's something to this. Instead of going to get another test, I'm like, okay, they'll either show me that I have vitamin B12 deficiency or that I'm fine with my vitamin B12. So I decided just to get on the supplements like right away. It's a water-soluble vitamin, so it's not gonna hurt me in any way. So I get on the sublingual supplements, and I have them under my tongue, absorb them, and a day goes by, another day goes by, another day goes by. I'm like, okay, chalk that one up. Another thing that doesn't work, right? But I still have the bottle left of vitamin B12, so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna finish it, and then we'll move on to the next thing, right? But by day 4, I get up and I'm like, I notice my limbs are not weaker than the day before, and that was the first time in over a year my limbs were not weaker than the day before. And then throughout the day, I felt it get a little stronger. I'm like, what? That doesn't happen to me. I've tried so many different things. And nothing worked. And now I'm taking a little stupid vitamin B12 sublingual, and that's what's helping? Really? I was frustrated. I was like, why am I getting better? I was frustrated at the doctors, and I was frustrated that it was so simple. It was really the stupidest thing ever. So I'm like, okay, now I've wasted a year plus of my life when I could have just been on vitamin B12, but okay, well, I guess I'm glad I'm getting better. There's that. So I continued with the sublingual, and I felt like I had to take a lot of it for it to make an impact on me. I probably swallowed too much as opposed to letting it absorb sublingually.
Statistics.
That is a difficult word to say. So apparently my stomach would just not absorb vitamin B12, and the sublingual was having some impact for sure, but I wasn't getting better to the degree that I thought I should be, and that I wanted to, and that I knew I could. There's something in me, I knew I could improve a lot. Because I was probably a month or two from being in a wheelchair. I was just getting so laborious getting up off the couch or getting out of a car. It's like hard. I'm like, okay, this sucks. I'm just gonna sit down all day because it's hard. But then there was one more option with vitamin B12 that was presented to me, and at first I'm like, no way. I know myself. There is no way I am going to stab myself with a needle and inject vitamin B12 directly into my bloodstream. That's not happening. I cannot do that. How am I supposed to stick a sharp object through my flesh?
Just a flesh wound.
I can't do that. There's no way. I mean, it's scary even when a trained professional does it. I can't do it to myself. No way. Not doing it. But there's no way I want to keep living with these symptoms.
False. Master's my friend. You don't have any friends. Not listening.
I just want to get better. I want to walk normal again. I want to run again. I want to play sports again. I want to be normal again. I want to have my life back. I don't want to have to worry anymore. I want to live again.
Please! I want to live again! I want to live again!
Okay. It's decided, because I cannot go to a clinic and pay all this money to get one injection or get a group of injections for a lot more money. It's not possible. So I have to get the vitamin B12 solution myself and inject myself. That is literally the only option. It's decided then. Out come the needles. Got me some vitamin B12 solution, methylcobalamin, and filled up the needle, the syringe, and went to inject myself the first time.
And here we go.
Breathe. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not gonna stick myself with a needle. Okay. Breathe again. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Stick. Wait. What? That didn't actually hurt. That didn't hurt. What the heck? I thought sticking a needle in myself would hurt. It didn't hurt. I just stabbed myself and it didn't hurt. Okay. This isn't so hard. I gave my nerves the nourishment they need, and that's all it took. I was literally feeling so much better within a week or two.
We told him to go away. And away he goes, precious.
Honestly, it brought me back to life. I was back lifting weights, working out, playing sports, coaching, got my job back. It brought me back to life. And now I want to help you get your life back. Let's do this. If you would like to learn more about how I specifically healed from a vitamin B12 deficiency, please click the video on your screen. If you have any questions or comments, please reach out at our website, www.b12bu.com. And please consider subscribing to this YouTube channel. I've never met you, but we're all in this fight together.